I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
Anyone claiming that America's economy is in decline is peddling fiction.
I've abandoned free market principles to save the free market system.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Raising the debt ceilings does not increase our debt. It does not somehow promote profligacy.
I know words. I have the best words. Nobody knows the system better than me, which is why I alone can fix it.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday, and welcome back to the Peddling Fiction Podcast. I'm your host, the voice and soul of so-called fiction, Johnny Profita. And back with me on a lovely Friday afternoon is Justin Hillbilly Boy Campbell, even though it looks like the dead of night over there again. You're always in a dungeon.
Well, I have to kind of block the light, otherwise the sun just comes in through this window and blinds me, and then nobody can see anything. And also, it is kind of overcast today. Like, the sun is shining right now, but it's been clouds have moved in and got a little bit of rain earlier. It's been kind of a nasty day, not real nice. It's been really cool for late May here this past week, which was not a lot of fun. We had we had a lot of stuff planned for the week, and then some of our plans we had to put off until later on because it was too cold to go do some stuff. But I mean, we still had a good week overall. But yeah, the first week of summer break for the kids has been not as eventful as we would have liked for it to have been.
Yeah. Well, the weather here has been overcast as well the last 2 days. It sounds like I have some neighbors here that just rolled up too with little kids, so that'll be fun.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. Every weekend is a little different here. Never know who your neighbor is going to be. But anyway, got a couple of interesting things to talk about today on this lovely Friday afternoon. I don't know if you want to start with you said you had some updates from the judges on the Trump stuff.
So yeah, I came across this one earlier while I was scrolling around, and this is interesting because I saw more than one. There were 4 of them that I saw, and this was the one that really was the most interesting in terms of like actually being something that kind of surprised me. But there were 4 different rulings from the Supreme Court that I saw that were a 7-2. Not the usual 6-3 like we've been getting on most stuff, but they were 7-2. So Elena Kagan has not been siding with Sotomayor and Ketanji Brown Jackson on some of these things, and this is, like I said, this is the one that really caught my attention. Supreme Court lets Trump administration revoke 500,000 immigrants' temporary legal status. So 500,000 migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela are currently had their temporary legal status stripped because they are effectively criminals. They are here under some sort of a parole type of a situation. 350,000 of those are Venezuelan. So this will get kicked back to the lower court now, and it is still possible that the lower court will ultimately rule that Trump has to restore their legal status at some point. But that doesn't prevent the Trump administration from just deporting every single fucking one of them in the meantime. So they might be given their legal status at some point 2 or 3 years down the road, but the Trump team could just deport them now and then not have to deal with it. So that was interesting. The fact that Kagan sided with the conservatives on that really kind of took me by surprise.
Yeah, and sorry, maybe I missed it. What was the justification? Did she write like a? No, nothing.
No.
Okay.
As always, the dissenters, the two liberal women, had a lot to say about why they dissented, but the majority opinion allowing it did not give it reasoning or anything. They just like, yeah, this is within the purview of the president to do this.
That's interesting. Yeah, and so wait, if they're in Venezuela and then their legal status gets changed to be like you're legally allowed to be in the U.S., can they just come back then?
I mean, if they could get out of Venezuela, I guess.
Yeah, it's a real brutal journey for them.
Right.
And
that would be, at that point, it would be on them to get back, and that's kind of the Trump administration and Homan and the ICE team or whatever. Like, they need to move quickly on this, because what they've kind of been given is, yeah, these people might be able to have their legal status restored at some point in the future, but there's nothing stopping you from just shipping them out right now. So while that legal proceeding is going on, because they aren't citizens. They were given a legal immigration while they were under like parole hearings and stuff like that for the different reasons that they were here. So like, they still came here illegally, and they were granted temporary legal status while they were having their criminal situations investigated. So it's like, why? Why would you even do that to begin with? Why would you grant them temporary legal status while you figure out the criminal situation that brought them here to begin with, when you could just be like, all right, fuck out and leave and like deport them like that?
Yeah.
And that comes from the Biden administration put that in place, where they came here illegally and then they give them a temporary legal status so that they can figure out why they're here. And like,
yeah,
we'll
sort it out later if they get to it, which chances are they wouldn't have if it was a continuation of the Biden administration. And the other thing that I just find kind of interesting about this whole immigration fiasco is, why are all these Venezuelans trying to get here? What are they escaping in Venezuela? And then all of the people that that don't want to deport the Venezuelans want to institute everything that Venezuela has done over the last 25 years that has completely destroyed what was one of the richest countries in that part of the world, and has people fleeing by the millions to try to get out. It's I don't know, dude. I don't even know the words to describe people like that, but retarded doesn't just seem to do it justice. You would think, like, just beyond, like, think about it just beyond a little surface level. It's like, okay, yeah, like, I feel bad for these Venezuelans. Like, they should be able to come here, and we want to give them legal status because, like, we want immigrants here, and they're fleeing this country, right? It's like, well, why are they fleeing? It's like, because they tried this so-called democratic socialism, and it was an unmitigated disaster. And they've already eaten all their fucking pets and all the giraffes in the fucking zoos, and there's no food left. There's nothing there. All of the women have had to turn to prostitution to try to make ends meet. And okay, so yeah, let them come here, but then maybe ask yourself what they were fleeing from, and maybe it's not a good idea to institute a lot of those ideas in this country. Just a thought.
Right. And you would think that those people fleeing from that would come here and be like, yo, like, maybe don't do that. It didn't work out so well for us. But the problem is the people who are coming are too stupid to realize why it didn't work. And like, well,
either that or you don't want to piss off the people that are actually welcoming you. You know, it's like it's kind of a weird position to be in. They don't seem to have a problem like coming over here and pissing off the people that don't want them here. But like, yeah, they're welcoming you with open arms and be like, oh yeah, by the way, like your politics are retarded and they're gonna destroy the planet. But hey, thanks for having me over.
They're showing up. They're like, oh, that wasn't real democratic socialism. I'm sure y'all will get it right.
Yeah, you just got to tweak it a little bit. You just got to tweak it a bit. So yeah, that's in. Well, there's a lot of the Venezuelan gang members as well. So I don't know how many of the 500,000 or that you said it was like 300,000 of them were Venezuelans. How many of those are gang members or whatever? But
remember when was it in the Trump Kamala debate when Trump talked about the Venezuelan gangs taking over like apartment complexes in Colorado, and then they had JD Vance go on and do an interview, and the chick was like, well, that's not actually happening. And Vance like went through 2 different apartment complexes that have been taken over, and she was like, well, that's just 2. That's not like widespread. It's like you do realize 2 is too many, right? Like that's like any number.
Well, that's just a really small sampling.
Yeah, like any number of apartment complexes being taken over by Venezuelan gangs that are here illegally is too many. Like, just like you're admitting that he was right, but you're like, oh, it's not a widespread problem. It's just those couple instances. It's like, that's like still.
That's what they've been reduced to. Yeah, that's what they're reduced to defending. Was that the I don't really care, Margaret, or was that a different?
Oh God,
I'm trying to remember which one. Yeah,
because
he had 2 moments like that, at least that I can remember, where it's like you can't even believe that these talking heads on TV are taking this position where it's just like, oh well, yeah, well that was just like, okay, yeah, but that was just a small sampling. It wasn't that big of a deal. It's just a couple of apartment buildings. Yeah, so far it's a couple.
Well, I mean, they're probably taking these apartment buildings over with knives, and you know, there's a solution to knife violence that we hinted at on the last episode, and I think it's a good opportunity to get into that. How do we solve the knife violence problem? Maybe not here so much, but in the UK they have a huge problem with it. Let's see what famous actor Idris Elba thinks the solution to knife violence is.
The truth is that kitchen knives are perhaps 25% of the knives used in most of the terrible crimes. That's one of the stats in the films. And those kitchen knives are usually a domestic situation. Okay. So kitchen knives, of course, it's very difficult. They're a domestic knife. I do think there is areas of innovation that we can do with kitchen knives. I hate to say it, not all kitchen knives need to have a point on them. That sounds like a crazy thing to say, but actually it would reduce. You know, you can still cut your food without the point on the knife, which is an innovative way to sort of look at it. And in a country in crisis, I'm sorry, but yeah, let's look at that. But the truth is, all knives, you know, the loophole on the heritage knives allows the sale of ninja swords to be sold. So while, you know, you've got your granddad's sword on there and you want that, that's fine, of course, but it is leaving a loophole for someone to carry a ninja sword. So let's ban them all. And if you have one of those knives, get a license for it. Simple as that. And I think it's a small contribution to society if you say, all right, I'm going to back that. I'll get a license for my granddad's sword, because it is leaving, you know, these kids vulnerable.
Dude, this is like, what I love about this clip is that it shows you the absurdity of banning guns if you apply it to the US. It's the exact same methodology, but like, this is like when you take that a line of thinking to its logical conclusion. Like, I guess you just got to get rid of everything. Like, oh, we shouldn't have points on the knives because, you know, 25% of the time it's kitchen knives that are used, and these are like domestic disputes. Like, these people, man, I don't like. What do you like? I imagine being filled with so much hatred and rage for somebody that you're going to kill them, but it's just there's just nothing. You can't find anything to kill them with. Like, if there was a knife there, I would kill you, but if not, I'd just be like, yeah, I guess I'm gonna forget that idea. Let's move on with my life. Like, no, you'll kill him with something else. And there are, I mean, isn't there, you ever watch like CSI or something? And it's like, oh, what was the cause of death? It was blunt force trauma to the head. Blunt force. You don't have to kill, you don't need something pointy to kill somebody. You can just bash them over the head with any object that's blunt. Should we just, like, what are we doing here? This is just so fucking ridiculous. And then, yeah, getting a license to have your granddad's ninja sword. Like, okay, but that's going to stop you from what? If I have the ninja sword and apparently I have no agency whatsoever because, like, I just want to kill people and there's a sword laying around, what difference does it make if I have a license for it? I'm going to be like, oh, I can't use that ninja sword because I have a license for it. I can't use it to kill somebody. What fucking difference does it make?
I have more knives and swords than I have guns, and none of my knives, swords, or guns have killed any people. It's crazy.
They must have just had really good parents. Good upbringing for those knives and swords.
I literally have 2 swords, 4 knives, and a gun all within arm's reach of me sitting right here. In case anybody ever feels the need to break in during a show, like, it's not ending well. I don't understand, like, why the ninja sword thing. Most of them are decorative. They're not even sharp a lot of time. Like, it's just dumb.
Yeah, well, and I haven't heard of that many ninja sword attacks in the UK, but so they have a big knife problem. Like, all these fucking crazy, a lot of times, again, it's illegal migrants that go on these fucking rampages, but those be like walking through a mall with like a machete or like a big knife or something, and they just started stabbing random people and attacking random people. And the reason they do that is because they don't have guns, or it's harder to get guns there. So instead of using guns, they use knives. And then when you take away, if you take away the pointy knives, and you have to get a license. I don't know if he was just talking, because it almost sounded like he was saying you should get a license for all knives, not just the ninja sword, but he might have just been talking about that. I don't know if you need a license for like a steak knife in your house, but like, again, if you don't, then if you can just go out and buy like a big fucking chef's knife, that's all you need. So what's the point? Again, like, where do you draw the line on banning these things and licenses? So, okay, you put a license in, so no ninja swords. All right. And then instead of using the ninja swords for attack, I just use my 13-inch chef's knife. Well, then those are banned. Or maybe they take the point off of that, and then you can only use a cleaver. And it's like, okay.
I was going to say, this, for those who are watching the video, this is what I use to cut up chickens and stuff. There is no point on this. I can absolutely kill somebody with this easily. It's, very sharp. Like, to have it, like, at what point do we cross the line on this? Is like, okay, you can't even have it. Like, it can't even be sharp. Like, they're gonna, like the magazine size limits in New York and stuff like that, where you can only have like a 6-round magazine or something stupid like that. It's like, how sharp is too sharp for a knife, where it's just sharp enough to like saw through a steak, but it's not sharp enough to cut a like.
Yeah, flesh is no. Here's what has to happen. You have to keep it in like an extra dull shape. Like, yeah, you have to keep your gun like unloaded in a safe. The knife can't be sharp. Every time you use it, you can sharpen it just to cut your food, and then after that, you have to dull it beyond beyond use. And you just have to keep doing that over and over again, so that at any given moment, you don't have a sharp knife. You just have to spend 15 minutes sharpening your knives before you can eat dinner. It's all just so fucking ridiculous. And I can't believe people talk about this with a straight face without realizing that, yeah, there's nothing you can really do to, like, I know we point this out all the time, that like murder is already illegal. So if you make the knife illegal, but somebody wants to use a knife to kill somebody, they're going to find a way to use the knife to kill somebody. They don't care about the law. And knives have like unlike guns, I will say, knives have like practical everyday uses that society actually like. Imagine what life would be like with no knives. How difficult it would be. Like, I don't even like, it would be fucking really brutal, just day-to-day life. Like, yeah, guns, okay, we could survive without guns. But like your standard of living would go down drastically without knives. And I can't imagine having that sort of mindset where you don't blame people for their actions.
And that's the gun control debate. It's everything. It's removing the responsible party and blaming something else every single time. Like it's trying to act like, oh, if we just like if we remove this tool that we've created, that somehow that solves the human problem. Like human beings have been killing each other since they were bashing each other over the head with fucking rocks in biblical times. Like we have always, as a species, found a way to kill each other and other things. Like that's not something we struggle with. I remember getting into a gun control argument with a friend one time, and he said, "I don't think Jesus would want you to have a AR-15." I was like, Jesus literally told his disciples, "Sell your cloak and go buy. If you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and go buy one." The sword at the time was the same as your self-defense handgun. Now, like Jesus was all for self-defense, and then his argument was, "Well, we've evolved past then as a species." I was like, "No, our technology has evolved. We as a species are still the same bloodthirsty murderers that we have been for all of human history. Like this is inbred into us to kill everything. Like conquest is our thing. We have not evolved at all. We are still the exact same dumb apes. We just figured out better technology and more efficient ways to do it."
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and there's always going to be a certain percentage of the population that are completely fucking psycho, don't like have no remorse or no problem killing a bunch of people. Again, like the only realistic solution that we have to that sort of problem is being able to protect yourself. And until somebody comes up with a better idea, just taking away things that people use all the time, that's not going to do anything, except again make you even more of a target. It's with the gun control thing, it's even more ridiculous because like, okay, so you can't have a gun in that building because it's a gun-free zone, but if somebody violates that little sign that says you can't bring a gun in here, it's like, okay, now you have to just call the people that have the guns and wait for them to show up with the guns. Like there's no other way to stop it. We don't have any other way to stop it. Either runs out of ammunition or other people with guns come by and put him down. So wouldn't you rather just have the guns there? And it's like, well, that'd be super dangerous because no. Like most people who have guns for self-defense, like you're not like overcome by this power. It's not like Lord of the Rings where you put this ring on and you can't control yourself. Anyway, spending a lot of time on that, but it is just absolutely ridiculous. What are you looking up over there?
I was just looking up some like crime stats and stuff. So there are 82,880,000 legally registered gun owners in the United States as of 2023. There are, on average, about 44 murders per day in the United States. That's total murders. You would think if, like, you know, all of these people who own guns is such a huge problem. 88 million, maybe, you know, like if it was really that big a problem, don't you think you would have more than 44 total murders per day? Like, and that, I mean, shit, that half of that is probably Chicago on a daily basis. Like, you could probably narrow that down to Chicago, Baltimore, Detroit, New York. Like,
yep. Only I can do that. Go from gun control to Lord of the Rings in 5 minutes. Yeah, I mean, it would be a much bigger problem if people didn't have agency and we had all these guns and it was just it was the guns, not the people. Then a lot more people would be getting shot all the time. Now, granted, certain people, yeah, they should not have guns, and most of them reside on the south and west side of Chicago.
Oh, and speaking of Chicago,
Don Lemon, though, yeah.
Speaking of Chicago, New York, Baltimore, we got some interesting clips.
And just the last thing, this isn't a question, this is a comment. I know the police's feelings on the gang database and how, they feel that it can be improved. I'm just always going to stand on the side of things cannot be fixed when it already comes with a broken system. A broken clock could be right twice a day, and things like that just have to go because it stemmed from racism. And I know that you feel very differently, but that's just not going to change it. And I know it's in your testimony. I was not going to bring it up, but because you brought it up, I'm going to bring it up. And so I know we have conversations coming up to talk about how you feel about it, I feel about it, but I just have to say it because you brought it up. And so I just brought it up. So that's it. Thank you guys so much.
So if you weren't sure what she was talking about there, they're having this council meeting, and they bring up the gang database for the NYPD's gang-related database, and she wants the database to be this is New York City Councilwoman Althea Stephen. She wants the New York Police Department to delete the gang database because it's racist.
Yeah, but she wasn't going to bring it up, Justin. She was not going to bring up racism unless he brought it up first, right?
But he brought it up, so she's got to bring it up.
Dude, could you imagine?
Why would you call the gang database racist? Like, what does the data say?
Well, according to Don Lemon, it says that all these white gangs are just running rampant, killing everybody.
Yes, it's the white gangs.
On Lamont.
Remember, he had the Muslim ban. Yes. And I said, well, why isn't anybody trying to ban white guys from this country? And you would have thought that I had, cut off, a left, or I had taken their firstborn kid or whatever for telling the truth and what the statistics were showing with the FBI data. Why do you think that these white dudes, these white guys are so triggered? Why are they such snowflakes and they claim other people are?
So I think what he's referring to is that all these mass shooters are white supremacists, according to the FBI data.
Per capita is undefeated. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. But dude, could you imagine going back to that, whatever, Althea or whatever the hell her name was? Imagine if black politicians were not allowed to bring up the topic of racism. They'd have nothing to say. I wasn't going to bring it up, but you just you brought it up. So now I have to comment that. I'm like, no, you were going to say something along the lines of racism. You always do. That's all you have. And this idea, the FBI, because I've heard other people talk about these FBI statistics and white supremacy. I remember I was asking Grok a bunch of questions about it to kind of get into the numbers a little bit, but it's all of these mass shooters have had, it's some crazy stat, it'd be 90% of I forget exactly how they phrased it, but it was just a crazy high number. Was was because of white people or whatever. And then we dig into it. It's the mass shooters were all had ties to white supremacy or something.
Well, and it's what Don Lemon is also talking about, and this I've seen this brought up a number of times, is that 62% of all crime is committed by white people. Okay, and 62% of the population is white people. So that kind of checks out. Why don't we narrow some numbers down and look at specific types of crime? How about then? Nobody wants to talk about that though. You're not allowed to notice those sorts of things.
Yeah, it really is just talk about people in glass houses throwing stones. Like, I wouldn't want to be broaching that subject as a person of color talking about crime statistics. And I don't know, do you remember, like, this was like a week or two ago, or maybe, yeah, about a week ago, black fatigue was trending on Twitter.
What is
It's
that?
just, like, I didn't know what this was either, but like, so it's just like all of this just like completely inappropriate behavior, like all these like brawls breaking out in grocery stores and on train platforms and at the beach, and just like all of these fucking videos that just keep circulating of just like black people just going berserk on mostly on each other. You know, it's just like they're just fighting with each other in the streets of Chicago, and people are just like, dude, can't we just like go to a grocery store and not? Because, dude, we played that one of those videos, and that was like one of the, I think that might have been one of the things that was like flagged in the black fatigue thing, where it's just like, can I just go to the grocery store and buy some groceries and not have I don't even know how you get into a fight at the grocery store. Like, how does that even happen?
Right, like Waffle House.
I wanted that watermelon. That one was mine. Watermelon's a bad example.
Like Waffle House, I understand, but like just at the grocery store, like,
yeah, Waffle House, like 3 o'clock in the morning and you're hammered. It's like, okay, yeah, I understand how things can get out of hand there. But then, yeah, the other videos are like, oh, they ran out of French fries at Popeyes or something, and so they just start trashing the place. It's like, yeah, I don't know, dude. They're like, people are like, black fatigue was trending on fucking Twitter. And it's just like, yeah, we should ban white people from this country because of some, like, the white supremacy angle. And I don't know who that guy he was talking to that was nodding along. Be like, yo, he's talking about you. Like, I don't know. And like, again, the Muslim ban that he was referencing, that was to like people, like foreign people coming into the country through immigration, right? Like, none of the white supremacist mass shooters or whatever that they're citing in these FBI statistics as to why crime is just out of control in the US. None of that has to do with people coming into the country. Like, he wasn't talking about kicking Muslims out of the country. He was talking about preventing them from coming in. The whole thing is just, it's retarded on just so many levels. But yeah, the data just does not back that up. And yeah, per capita is undefeated, as you mentioned.
And did we talk about like the Muslim ban that Trump put in place was the literally exact same ban that Obama had put in place. Like, it was the Obama Muslim ban, but it wasn't called a Muslim ban when Obama did it, and nobody talked about it. It wasn't a bad thing, but it was literally the exact same thing that the Obama administration had used for a decent portion of his presidency. Right.
And then, of course, the corporate press just picks up the story, relabels it with their inflammatory language.
Speaking of black fatigue and per capita, I just typed it into Twitter to see what would pull up, and this was like the first post.
Black women more likely to commit murder than white men. And these are FBI statistics, yeah? Yep,
from 2021. White male murderers per 100,000, 3.5 per 100,000. Black female murderers per 100,000, 5.8. So yeah, we should, if we're going to be banning black or white men, then black women need to go just above them.
Dude, the black male 64.4. That just dwarfs everything. Like, even like, you just look at the Hispanic one, you're like, oh shit, dude, that's 12 per 100,000. It's about almost 4x the fucking the white male population. And then it's just like, oh yeah, but then 64.4. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, we should just ban the guns. Whatever they're murdering with. Yeah. I guess they'd rather do that than ban the people, but we'll ban the white people. So you'll get rid of that 3.5, and then you'll just have a utopia. Don Lemon, the Don Lemon utopia. That guy is such a fucking what a loser that guy is. Where was he doing that podcast from too? What a fall from grace that must be for him. To be on like an actual TV, like cable TV, and now you're just doing these fucking shitty podcasts.
I loved getting to cover his like getting fired and then coming back and having his show on X and then having that get like basically canceled immediately. Because like Elon offered him a deal, not exactly, not quite the same deal as what Tucker Carlson got, but something like where he would, have an opportunity to get paid to do a show on X. And then he made all these like outrageous demands, and Elon was basically just like, yeah, we're not going to do that. And then his very first episode of his show, he interviewed Elon Musk, acted like a complete and total jackass. And then everything after that first episode was just nothing. Like nobody watched any of it. It was that dude and it's all self-inflicted. Like all he had to do was not act like a complete fucking psychopath. Chris Cuomo has actually been like, I don't want to say good since he got fired, but he's been better and has been able to still remain semi-relevant. He still says dumb fucking shit and takes, extremely lefty. I saw a video of him saying something fucking retarded earlier. Like he still has those, but he's able to be nuanced and actually have conversations with people. Don Lemon cannot stop fucking himself over by doubling down on all of the most insane bullshit that got him fired to begin with. It's just fucking nuts.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I mean, there's definitely like a lot of like nepotism involved with Chris Cuomo, but like he does have like a modicum of talent. Not a lot, but like Don Lemon has nothing. If he wasn't a black gay guy, he would be doing nobody would know who he was. He would have never been on fucking TV. He certainly would have been able to have like even whatever viewership he has now on his podcast. Like he would be so unsuccessful in life because he is a dim bulb. Like he's just a stupid person. And the only reason anybody knows his name is from affirmative action. Like I don't see how anybody could argue against that. He was not good at his job. He's not good at it. And I don't think he would have had that position if it weren't for, he checks all these boxes. Chris Cuomo, again, I don't think he's very good at it either, but like you can kind of tell like he has more talent and certainly more a few more brain cells rattling around up there between his ears. But yeah, I think I glossed over. I saw that clip and I was like, I couldn't even fucking deal with it. The Chris Cuomo one. Chris Cuomo fatigue. But yeah, I don't even know what to say, dude. Yeah, like all he can do now is say things like that. Oh yeah, we should have when I say we should ban white people, we should have a white ban. Everybody loses their mind. Like, what did I say? Wasn't that big of a deal. Like he just acts like he's dumbfounded that there's a reaction to that. Okay. Like, no, you're just saying these retarded inflammatory things because it's the only way you can get hits on your video. It's the only way.
Well, speaking of fatigue.
Very still. I'm working right now. Ouch! Oh, I'm sorry. Did my pen get in the way of your ass? Do me a favor and lose 5 pounds immediately or get out of my building like now!
I bet this shit gets super fatigued really easily. This is the new face of the left, Olivia Juliana. she is going to attract the male voters to come back to the Democratic Party.
Yeah. So pull up the other one that I sent. I'm not sure if there's like an article on the other one I sent you that might give a little more detail, but those are some nice pictures of her. So for the listening audience, this is a morbidly obese. Yeah, I don't know if you can click on that. Does that have a link on it? No. Okay, just the same thing. Yeah, we just leave it.
Democrats have engaged Olivia Giuliana as part of their strategy to bring young men to the Democratic Party.
Yeah, so I was joking around. Like, they are literally the Democratic strategists are the Jim Cramers of politics. Like, they just do the opposite of everything that they should be doing. This is like they brought in what's that little twerp's name? The mass shooting kid.
Oh, David Hogg.
David Hogg, yeah. They bring him in, and that went clearly well.
Did you see where David Hogg he actually got elected to some sort of a vice chairmanship or something within the DNC, and then they recalled it and stripped his position that he got elected to because there weren't enough female representatives in the group. Like, what he won, which meant that there weren't enough females being represented. So they removed him from the position that he won the vote for because there weren't enough females or LGBTQIA, all of that stuff. Like, as long as it's not somebody who identifies as a man, unless they're not actually a man and identifying as a man, like if a biological man cannot hold that position because they don't have enough representation from the rest of the alphabet. So yeah, your face.
I know. I think didn't we cover some of that on the podcast? Because I remember playing like a clip where this chick was like trying to explain it, like the rationale behind it. And I was just like, dude, this is so goddamn retarded. But so it's no secret that the Democrats have completely lost the straight young male vote. Yeah, the strategy to bring back Star Wars fans shall pose as Princess Leia in the gold bikini. This is, if you're just listening, a disgustingly morbidly obese, hideous woman. Absolutely hideous. The only way, and this was
I mean, this picture down here in the bottom left, I'm not even 100% sure this is a biological woman. Like, look at that jawline.
She looks very mannish there. Yeah. And so, like, dude, the idea that this thing is going to attract young male voters, like, I just can't, there's no universe where you can connect those dots. It's impossible. And so my joke was on Twitter was, I thought the Democrats already had the black male vote locked down. Because you know that your brothers like those big white chicks.
Well, they actually lost quite a bit in that demographic in the last election. So maybe this is part of their strategy. I mean,
maybe that's it. And then I saw Brian McWilliams. He was like, the only way this would work is if her gravitational pull like attracts just pulls in young male voters or something. It was fucking hilarious.
What's a more foolproof strategy though? Like getting her on board or whatever it is Pete Buttigieg is wanting to do?
Of course, we should be talking about how, if Speaker Johnson got his way, it wouldn't be possible, not just for gay people to get married, but for straight people to get divorced, let alone like birth control or how he would want to regulate porn or whatever most people would have a problem with. But he was talking about like Democratic strategy, and they're gonna win back the young male vote by supporting gay marriage and porn. That's like Republicans want to do away with gay marriage and want to outlaw porn, and so the way the Democrats are going to get young males back on their side is supporting gay marriage and porn.
Yeah, dude, it's so funny to just watch them flail about. Like they just have no idea what's going on. They have no, like, they cannot take the temperature of the room. They have nothing. They just keep coming out like it's almost like they're just throwing, spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. These are just horrible ideas. And I don't know who these so-called strategists are, but man, they don't have a fucking clue as to how to attract the young male voter. And I think it might be a combination. They're just so out of touch, but then they also don't want to, like, the things that attract the young male voters is like Andrew Tate style things, he's very popular with young male voters. And I don't think they can bring themselves to get on board with any sort of message like that. So I don't know. You just like, dude, the polar opposite of Andrew Tate is that big, fat, ugly chick.
Well, and like
Hog.
Andrew Tate says some really dumb shit, and he's definitely not, a positive role model for young men, but he is a pushback against everything we've seen in the last 20 years being pushed front and center in culture and society. And young males see all of this shit that's being pushed at them, and they don't like it. They know it's not right. They know it's ugly and it's terrible. And also young males tend to be more rebellious and non-conforming. They see all of this horrible shit being pushed on them, and anything that they can glom onto that is counter to that narrative that's being pushed, they're going to jump on it. And as it just so happens, like Andrew Tate and Bronze Age Pervert and others along those lines say a lot of the things that fly directly in the face of all of that bullshit. And so they jump on that. They grab a hold of it and they run with it. And there's some good in that. I like my son and his friends, like, they love Andrew Tate. They love all of that shit. I have to, temper some of that with, all right, like, let's maybe not go all the way that far, but it takes them in the right direction at least. And
if I had to choose between two messages of life, the Andrew Tate message, which is like, get off your ass, like, make some fucking money, buy a Bugatti or whatever, but like, go work out, be a fucking, be somebody like capable and worthy of something. Get your ass to the gym, and then you'll make a lot of money. Then you can get a lot of chicks or whatever. I'd much rather have that message than anything that's going to come out of that fat chick's mouth, or anything that comes from the Democratic Party, which is like, oh, like, whatever your lot in life is, it's not your fault. It's because of the, systemic racism, and the system's built against you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So rely on government for literally everything. That's their message. It's not your fault. We'll take care of you from cradle to grave. And Andrew Tate saying, no, like, if your life sucks right now, it's your fault. Get off your ass and use that. Like, just like every sort of like, I remember he was talking about like Batman, all these like superheroes and things have like a really sad like backstory or something. They always had to suffer, and before they could become great. And so use that suffering, use all the tough things in life to motivate you to be better, sort of thing. But I'd much rather have that, and whatever, all the downside that comes along with the Andrew Tate, I'd still take that any day of the week and twice on Sunday, versus this toxic message from the Democratic left, which is no personal responsibility, no agency. If you're a failure, if you're failing in life, it's not your fault. It's always somebody else's fault, and it's racism, and it's built into the system, and there's nothing you can do but vote for me. I'll steal from them, and I'll give a little something to you. What a terrible message for people. What a terrible fucking message for people. And it's no wonder all these people in the Black and Hispanic community have resulted to crime. I mean, dude, if you were propagandized from the second you were born until you're 18 years old, that, you know, the world hates you, the country hates you, there's no, it's like impossible for you to get ahead, don't even try kind of thing. All these people, like, you're just walking down the street, you never know when some white dude just gonna want to fucking lynch you because you're Black, and they just can't control their racism. So yeah, no wonder they're taking to a life of crime, and they're just rolling into fucking stores and stealing things, and carjacking people. It's because of the messaging. If they had Andrew Tate style messaging, they'd all be fucking busting their ass, going to the fucking gym, working hard, trying to make money, trying to get ahead, and not blaming other people for their failures in life. But anyway, yeah, good luck getting the young male voter with that fat, ugly chick. I mean, dude, isn't there anybody in the Democratic strategist world that's going to be like, yo, this is a terrible idea? Young male voters are not going to listen to a fat, ugly chick. They don't want anything to do with fat, ugly chicks. At least get a hot chick to do it.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it before. Like, even Victoria's Secret had, you know, put out catalogs over the last several years that had considerably plus sized models for even, you know, for Victoria's Secret standards. And then they went to just straight up full on plus size models by any standard, and also probably some dudes for their like models and stuff. And what was it, last year they announced like they were doing away with all of that. They're going back to they're going back to their old strategy because like people summarily rejected that.
Yeah. Yeah, I just sent you a Hooters thing. But I remember like riding the train in Chicago, and I would see these huge, like, I don't know if it was Victoria's Secret or Calvin Klein. Like, it was some underwear thing. It'd be a huge billboard on the side of a fucking building with just fat chicks in underwear. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see fucking fat people in underwear. Not even fat people. Unless that's your thing.
Yes, not even fat people. That was one of the things that there was like a study done on some of this stuff. And it was like, even the fat people don't want to see that. Like, they don't want to see somebody that looks like them. They want to see somebody that looks perfect in it so that they can imagine that that's what they look like. They don't want to see what they actually look like wearing this bathing suit. Then they realize they look like a fucking beach.
Like, oh, that's what I look like. Well, and they're probably even fatter than the actual mob. Like, oh, I look worse than that. So, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know what this. Yeah, they're trying to get like fat chicks to be at Hooters or something, and I was just like, yeah, no, dude. Just have a separate restaurant. Is what I was saying. Call it Chubby Chasers or something like that.
Oh God, you just shorten it up to Chasers, so they just call it Chasers.
Yeah, just Chasers, and then you just have a bunch of fat Hooters girls. Yeah, make it exclusively a fat fetish thing. Why not just do that? You should niche down. I got to come up with this idea for you. And then you just have all these all these people that have like a fat fetish will go there. And if the people that have like, that want, you know, the historically model, typical prototype body serving them wings, they'll go to Hooters.
You can come back to the States and do marketing, Johnny. You could.
Yeah. I mean, dude, how hard could it be to be like a fucking like? I could certainly give them better advice than any of these Democratic strategists.
Well, and this is something that we've talked about. Like, I've talked about it with, you know, Jay Forte and Trey and some others on my own show. Like look at the video game stuff. Look at like sports stuff. Like, they are marketing these things to. I mean, look at the Bud Light thing with the whole Dylan Mulvaney and all of their ad campaigns leading up to that point. Like, the Dylan Mulvaney thing was the boiling over point, but it was like your entire brand is frat boys and rednecks, and you went out of your way to piss off your entire target demographic, like because you what? You thought you were going to like appeal to people who don't want your shit anyway. Like that's how it is with sports and video games. Like quit trying to appeal to people who don't have any interest in what you're selling anyway, and just target shit for the people who you're trying to reach. It's not rocket science, but you know, you have these Democrat strategists, this like progressive agenda that you need to be all inclusive. It's like, fuck that. You need to target the people who are going to actually give you money for the shit that you're trying to sell, and do that.
Right. And not even like, you don't even have to do that. Just don't piss off your target audience. Like, just don't like antagonize them with shit that you know that they hate. You have to know that they hate it because you've been railing about how they're, racist, homophobic, whatever. So the solution to that is to not shove gay stuff down their throat, because they don't have to buy your stuff. And the gays aren't going to buy your stuff either because they like to do gay stuff. They're not into they're not into the frat boy. Like, you're not going to get these two things to mix. It's oil and fucking vinegar. It really is amazing just how bad. Like, imagine, dude, Democratic strategist. So they're sitting around at some conference room being like, we lost the male vote. We lost the young male vote. How do we get it back? Who's going to be the face of the Democratic Party for young male voters to attract these people? And somebody suggests a 385-pound man-ish looking chick. Here you go. This is going to do it. And everybody around the table just nods their head or something. This is nonsense. I can't. I don't know. I don't want to help them out, but like, Jesus Christ, dude. How are people in these positions this bad at their job?
Boggles the mind. Speaking of all the gay shit, you know what tomorrow is? Or not tomorrow, I guess Sunday. Forget what day it is.
Is that June 1st?
It's June 1st. I'm trying to get Grok to set the peddling fiction image with a rainbow background so we can do Pride Month right this year.
There you go. Yeah, we got to change the pills to rainbow color.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Oh shit. Yeah, I almost forgot. Yeah, Pride Month here is like a big fucking deal because this is the gayest place in Mexico. Yeah, they actually start like a week or two early. Like, I don't know what was like. They probably started like 2 weeks ago. Like, they just start gearing up. And yeah, I won't be going to that part of town probably for the next month.
Whatever. Put on a tight shirt and go hit the bars and get some free drinks.
Yeah, the thing is, I'd probably get roofied.
I'm equal opportunity. If you want to buy me a drink and flirt with me, that's fine. I might even flirt back. Huh? I'm all about free drinks.
Yeah. But I heard Donald Trump said they weren't going to call it Pride Month this year. He's going to change it? I think he's changing it. Look that up real quick. I don't want to misinform anybody, but I'm pretty sure he's like, yeah, we're not going to be calling it Pride Month. Or it might have been a fake video.
I don't see anything.
Okay. Yeah, maybe that was a joke. I guarantee you will not see a tweet from him celebrating Pride Month, though. I don't think you'll see anything from the White House.
Oh, here it is.
Is this?
And this is even from a gay website. Trump has not canceled Pride Month. It's a deep fake video.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was clear now that I'm remembering it. I was like, oh yeah, and then like it wasn't even trying to fool you. It was just like hilarious. He's like, I don't think we should be celebrating people that like to fuck each other in the ass or something. But yeah, he may not be canceling it, but I guarantee you he's not going to be celebrating it. there's not going to be like 50 tweets about it from the White House.
He will probably make the obligatory like Happy Pride Month, everybody, because the Secretary of the Treasury is Scott Bessent. He's gay. Like there's a number of gay people in Trump's cabinet. Like he's not anti-LGBTQ like they claim that he is. He's just like not going to go out of his way to be all like over the top flamboyant about it and wear a pussy hat or something. Trump should 100% wear a pussy hat, like, and then grab it at the end of his video.
Oh man, he should do a lot. He should do even more trolling, because like he can literally get them to come out and be against anything. It would be so goddamn funny. I think it might be gonna rain here. I think I might get our first rain of the year today. It's not looking very good. All right, let's see. I know I sent you a couple other things. What else we got? Got a few more minutes here, right?
We had already talked about the Bongino Epstein stuff, and that just gets even further with Bongino says that there's new video evidence that will prove that the Epstein suicide, and there's bags of improperly stored Comey era evidence. Like that's just more disappointing bullshit. I saw another thing that was Kash Patel talking about, where they are with the releasing of the Epstein files, and basically what it all boils down to is they're nowhere. They're like, it's not going anywhere. It's just all a giant fucking disappointment.
Yeah, the clip from Bongino, it was like, he's like, listen, like, we have video evidence that's going to show you that like, that he killed himself. And it's like, wait, you actually have like video of him killing himself? He's like, well, no, but you can see that like he's the only one in there and nobody really enters or exits from like from the cameras that they have. And he's like, there's just no evidence that he killed himself. And it's sort of the same thing. He's doubling down. They say they're going to release some shit. It's like, you've got nothing. Got nothing. And yeah, I'm sure the files that they gave you don't have any like smoking gun in them, but yeah, we don't have to rehash it. But it's like the way his neck was broken was more consistent with being strangled than hanging. Conveniently, the cameras went out right when this happened. Conveniently, his cellmate was moved out of the cell the day before. Like, just because there's nobody entering or exiting before they claimed he killed himself, that doesn't prove anything. I could say, if I'm in charge, I could be like, yep, Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. And then after that, I could send in two guys, like he's still alive, but I could send in two guys who look like coroners or whatever, and they kill him, and then they wheel him out and be like, yep, see, nobody entered or exited. It's like, yeah, except for those guys right there. I don't know if he was dead before then because there's no camera footage. So anyway, yeah, we're going to just a little quick follow-up on that. They've still got nothing, and we're going to get nothing satisfactory on that end. Surprise, surprise.
But speaking of more death and carnage, U.S. stocks puke on the plan to widen China tech sanctions.
Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to use this so I don't know if you guys have seen this taco thing swirling around Twitter and everything like that. So apparently people on Wall Street came up with this taco trade thing to basically say taco stands for Trump always caves. I don't know what the O stands for. I think it was supposed to be like on tariffs, but then so the taco trade is that, Trump is just going to cave no matter what he says about the tariffs. Don't listen to it because he's eventually going to cave. And so I've been seeing all of these like idiot leftists like making fun of Donald Trump. And one of the reporters asked Donald Trump about it. He's like, have you heard of this taco trade? He's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, well, tacos, like Trump always caves on tariffs. And then Trump's like, oh, you think I always cave? Why? Because like I went from 145% on China down to like 130 and then down to 10 or down to like 25 or whatever it is now. He's like, and then he's just like, because they, like, all these other countries came to me and asked me for deals. You think that's caving? And so now the next day, basically, after Trump finds out about that, they're kind of making fun of him, he doubles down on sanctions for the tech industry. It's like, dude, you guys are fucking retards. Okay, Trump caving on these tariffs is a good thing. Why are you looking a gift horse in the mouth? And like, if there's anybody, like they had like some float with a Trump taco thing, like it's like, why are you poking this bear? Like, you know, Donald Trump is like a thin skin, like he will be like, oh, you think I'm caving? Okay, I'm gonna double down now. Do you want these tariffs to go away, or do you want him to double down on his stupid tariff policy? Because making fun of him for this is not the way to do it. Like, make fun of him for all kinds of things, but if you start like saying, oh, he always caves, like Donald Trump of all people, and everybody should know this about him, is if he thinks that you're making fun of him for being weak, he's gonna be like, okay, I'll show you how strong I am. It was just so stupid to see these people trying to make fun of him for it. It's like, okay, he's caving. You should be happy about that. Just shut up about it. Let him cave. So yeah, I mean, the stock market. Oh, let's actually see. I meant to be. You motherfucker. Yeah. Stocks are kind of mixed. They're not down much on the day. They're pretty much flat. NASDAQ and the S&P. The Dow is up a little bit, but yeah, essentially flat on the day. So I don't know. Like, they might have been talking about the futures market. I don't know when this article came out, but yeah, dude, why antagonize him when you're getting, like, when they were coming out, they're like, oh my God, these tariffs are the worst idea ever. And then he gets rid of most of them and they make fun of him for it. And they're basically daring him to reinstitute his insanely high tariffs on, like, it just seems like it's such a dumb tactic to me. They really just, I don't know.
Well, and that's why it's usually good practice to keep politics out of certain areas of business. Like, just let things play out and take advantage of them in the way that they do without making a scene about it and creating some situation that could cause it to behave erratically and go in the opposite direction of what you expect it to. I don't know. Maybe that's,
yeah, it's just, I mean, maybe these people are they just want him to double down. Like, maybe they were unhappy that he caved because that kind of gave the economy a boost, and they don't want that to happen. And so they're goading him into reinstituting things so that they can be like, look at these tariffs. It's like, yeah.
Maybe they were all trying to short. Maybe they were all trying to short everything, and they're like, it's going the wrong way. Gotta fuck that up.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I guess we got a storm coming. It's raining here. First rain of the year.
You doing happy hour tonight?
Yeah, we're gonna do a happy hour, I think. As of right now, I was planning on it. So, but I think it might be an earlier one. What did we do? We did 7:30. No, we did 8:30 last time, right?
I think that's right.
Yeah.
My participation is going to be dependent on work. Last time I ended up getting work was not bad, but the tornado that was coming through.
Yeah, we had we lost some signals there. We'll see if I have it. I mean, if this is a bad storm, we'll see if I have internet in a few hours. But yeah, I'm not sure. Well, I'll send out the email. I might do it at 7:30 Central Standard Time. And yeah, I guess that's it. You got anything going on this weekend?
Not that I can think of.
Kids taking the truck out or what?
Sean took Katie to choir practice last night and then went to see his girlfriend after he dropped her off and made it home perfectly safe. So I think we're off to a good start.
All right.
Knock on wood.
Sounds good. Yeah. So we'll do happy hour. For those of you that are supporting listeners of the show, you'll get an email from me right after we wrap here. And the rest of you will be. Are we doing a Tuesday show now? Are we back on Tuesdays?
Yeah, it should be good for Tuesday.
Okay. So we will be back on Tuesday with our regularly scheduled programming. And until then, you guys know what to do. Just keep on peddling that so-called fiction. Peace.